Happens to me, so I carry those in my pocket. And that's goes to Steve.
I know you. They were doing the other side. Well, I'm right where I was. You are.
I don't want some.
Yeah, no, I'm luckily not just about. How do you know? Is that how so I don't know. Maybe I didn't So it doesn't say bird watcher.
The sheriff,
No, I'm just, I can't. What's your
It happens every year. I don't have that.
Tell Mary come here. She heard.
Ready when you are.
Maybe she's in Buster.
There's no one doing
God by many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're welcome as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. God by many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're perfect as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. God by many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're perfect as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. You're already not alone. Welcome home. Hey, welcome home, everybody.
Good morning.
Center for Spiritual Living. I don't need that. Making progress. So this, put a smile on your face. Everybody got a smile for the world. Everybody's got a smile for the world. You gotta let it shine bright now. That's what it's for. Now there ain't no sense in crying when life has got you down. No, there ain't no sense in crying when life has got you down. Just put a smile on your face, you're gonna turn those blues around. Hey, everybody got a smile. Yeah, everybody's got a smile. You gotta let it shine brighter now. That's what it's for. Yeah, there ain't no sense in crying. Okay, straight. Now when you feel like something's missing from your day to day, when you feel like something's missing from your day to day, Just put a smile on your face, now you're gonna chase those blues. Hey, everybody got a smile for the world. Yeah, everybody's got a smile for the world. You gotta let it shine bright now, 'cause that's what it's for. Yeah, everybody got a smile for the world. Yeah, everybody's got a smile for the world. You gotta let it shine bright now, 'cause that's what it's for.
Ellen Stanley, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Are you feeling the high impact of that song?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to warn you ahead of time. I've been here all weekend. I had coffee this morning, and I'm raring to go. So just be with me in our oneness, shall we? So let me start out by saying, yes, your leadership, our leadership, we met yesterday, had our annual retreat. We had an absolutely blessed time. It's so nice, again, because I'm not living here full time. I got to spend a full day with our leadership. Our practitioners did some presentations. We sang, we drummed, we ate, of course, and one or two bad jokes in there, right?
It wasn't a bad joke, was it?
Bad as in a groaner, a dad joke, so to speak. So I am raring to go. Welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living, St. George. I would like to introduce each and every one of you to our community, and I would like to know who maybe here is for the first time. If you would be, raise your hand. Hi, would you mind sharing your name with us?
Hi, my name is Miriam.
Miriam, and how did you hear about us? Miriam, welcome.
I met a really nice lady yesterday over at the Bruce Salt Room, and then she told me about that you were meeting today, so I thought I'd come and check you
And
out.
then, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Cherry, right?
Cherry, yeah.
Cherry, yeah. So if you're online, Cherry, thank you. Spreading the word about our community.
Sherry.
Oh, Sherry. Oh, we have a Cherry too. So Sherry, thank you.
And hi to Cherry.
Yeah, hi to Sherry, as well as everybody online. And we do have a gift for you. That's just a complimentary copy of the Science of Mind magazine. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I'm already down. I know you gotta laugh. Folks, this is me on a good day, or on a slow day. So I didn't have that drive up. I didn't have the aggravation. I'm just here in full force. So we're gonna slow things down for a moment, and we're gonna move into our Flames of Faith ceremony. So do me a favor, because I need a collective breath. Let's just breathe together. One breath. Hold it. And let it out slowly. Just grounding into that lower chakra. All right. So we perform the Flames of Faith ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all things, all beings come from one great universal presence, which we call Spirit by many names. First, we light the unity candle, which represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle acknowledging religious science and all forms of new thought, the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. We light the next candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here, including those who have not yet found their faith. We now light the healing candle and invite you to silently offer into the light the names of loved ones, knowing that they are now the perfect expression of Spirit's eternal wholeness and love. And affirming God's love in all, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Joe. I think that's one of my favorite parts of our service that we're having these days. So we're going to sit back and relax a little bit, and the stars will come up and offer our invocation. So you can just sing along or hum or just don't leave. I will make a quiet place within my heart. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place within my life. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord.
I invite you to either close your eyes or just bow your head. It doesn't matter. Right here, right now, knowing that there is one truth, one mind, one great, beautiful sun that shines like the rays of the sun down on the earth with all the different rays. Envision all of that as humanity, 8 billion of us, shining from within our hearts outwards to this world, knowing that I am one with it. I know that each and every one of us is one with that light, that wheel of wholeness. And so I embrace it in joy and thanksgiving. I embrace it with the season of Christmas coming up. I embrace it with the giving nature of that abundant sun that never ceases to give, ever. And so right now in this present moment, I see the whole world coming alive within each and every heart, beaming this perfect love. And so knowing that, I know that this service is going to speak of beautiful places where wholeness dwells. And knowing that it is dwelling right here, right now, in this heart, I join with all other hearts and release it into the world. I release it by my word, and I know my word does not come back void. So I see everything waking up and coming alive as I say, yes, and so it is.
So it is.
So it is. Thank you, Star. I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my mind. I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know. I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place. I will make a quiet place.
Okay, I'm going to talk about a reading that I found in Reverend Scott Aubrey's spiritualpassages.org, where he talks about the person of the year. Usually we think the person of the year, well, let me just read this. Time magazine named Taylor Swift, person of the year.
If there's any Swifties in here, I apologize.
This past week, if you're wondering why that matters, consider not just the influence she's having in our world, but the impact that cultural phenomenon in general has on your community. Taylor Swift as the person of the year, really? Since 1927, Time has chosen individuals who most shaped the headlines of our culture over the previous 12 months. Often the honoree is a politician, a titan of industry, US presidents, popes, and even Russian leaders have all been recognized. This year's person was none of these. In a deeply divided world, Taylor Smith, why do I say that? Sorry,
I don't know, but
Taylor.
people are dropping off online.
I just watched her on Dancing with the Stars. They dedicated a whole show to Taylor Swift. Thank you, Taylor. But she found a way to transcend borders by being a source of light. She moves people and brings them together. She does so by embracing what she does better than anyone, entertaining and writing songs that connect with people. She is the first person of the year to be recognized for her success in the arts. And while there is so much to say about her music, the impact of her Eras tour is also reflected in the numbers. 2.2 billion in North America alone. In consumer spending in the United States, close to $5 billion. Okay. If Taylor Smith were an economist, did I say Smith?
Yeah.
Keep drinking. Swift, I like the name Swift too. If Taylor Swift were an economy, she'd be bigger than 50 countries. And this is from Dan Fleetwood, president of Questions Pro Research and Insights. The governor of Illinois, J.B. Prickner, credited the musician with reviving his state's tourism industry after her 3 concert nights in Chicago. She was even mentioned by the Federal Reserve System, crediting her with fueling the nation tourism industry. Some universities have created classes to study Swift's lessons in literature, business, and law. This isn't the first time she has been part of the Times selection. In 2017, she was among the silence breakers, speaking out against discrimination, harassment, and assault faced by women. Her influence is felt in many arenas, including politics. When she posted a message on Instagram encouraging her followers to register to vote, more than 35,000 registered within days. As perhaps the world's greatest influencer, she indeed is shaping the culture. The word phenomena doesn't quite capture her impact on the planet. She is a force and a wonder. When Taylor Swift speaks, her fans listen. As spiritual leaders, we'd be wise to listen to what they are listening to. Some quotes by Taylor Swift. Every day I remind myself of the good in the world, the love I've witnessed, and the faith I have in humanity. We have to live bravely in order to truly feel alive. Another one, life isn't how to survive the storm, it's about how to dance in the rain. There are 2 ways to get through pain. You can let it destroy you, or you can use it as fuel to drive you to dream bigger. I write songs to help me understand life a little more. I write songs to get past things that cause me pain. I write songs because sometimes life makes more sense to me when it's being sung in a chorus and when I can write it in a verse. And I just want to say that one more thing that we found on YouTube, I think Dwayne told me about it. Her entourage that takes her from place to place has over 50 semi trucks. She gave them $100,000 each for a Christmas bonus.
Oh.
So
Are they hiring?
we could do with that. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Star. Didn't know that much about her. She lived in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I raised my kids there mostly. And she did a lot for that city. I mean, her footprint is all over it. And I wish to ask for some prayers today because they got hit last night, a tornado. Thank you, God, it went half a mile from my family's home. But anyway. So this song was written sometime back. I was in a band, and my music partner's name was Terry Easley, who actually came with me the first time I attended this congregation over in the old place. Hey, I don't care what side you say you're on. It won't mean a thing when we're gone. So come and sit a while and let that spirit smile, and we'll talk to the early rays of the morning sun. I like you and you are my friend, and I hope this thing we got will never end. Yes, I like you and you are my friend, and I hope this thing we got will never end. Hey, I'm so glad to see not some weird disgrace. To lose control for a while and let that spirit smile. And remember, hey, this ain't such a bad old place. 'Cause I like you and you are my friend. And I hope this thing we got never ends. Yes, I like you and you are my friend. And I hope this thing we got will never end. When I moved away, left the railroad in the early 80s and moved to Nashville. And I've been singing this song ever since then. But it just didn't seem complete to me. So I was on a trip back to Fresno, California one day, and I sat down eating lunch with Terry, and I said, Terry, that song's just not complete. He said, well, what do you mean? I said, I need another verse. He said, I don't like the ones you put in. So he grabbed a napkin, and he wrote this verse. Let's get together and sing a friendly song. 'Cause folks like you and me should get along. Hey, I'm so glad to know you. This is how I show you. You're the reason I'm the singer of this song. 'Cause I like you and you are my friend. And I hope this thing we got will never end. Yes, I like you and you are my friend. And I hope this thing we got will never end. Let's do this one more time. At the end, we're not going to hope, we're going to know. I like you and you are my friend. And I hope this thing we got will never end. Yes, I like you and you are my friend. And I know this thing we got will never end.
Hey, Joe, could I offer one more fact about Taylor? I
Sure.
was listening to the radio in my truck yesterday, and the countdown of the top hits for the week on whatever station it was. Taylor has the number 1 and number 4 songs in the country this week.
At the same time.
Yep.
Wow.
And she also has a documentary on Netflix about her life. So it was done 6 years ago, but I haven't watched it yet, but we're going to watch it tonight.
Well, no, we contributed some to that $5 billion. So.
It just goes to show you what's possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and being the father of a 13-year-old, hi Joe Piel, hi Michael, they're at home for the first time alone. And I'm not going to give you my code word just yet, so keep watching. But my wife took her and her friends to go see her movie concert, and it was a very positive experience. And it's nice to have role models that are not all caught up in themselves and in just making money. And I believe, from what I know of her and her songs, she's very true to her word and her message in her music. Mm-hmm. So, and you can see the power of music, right? I mean, we start off with slow songs, and that's all energy. And we can allow it to affect us in a positive way. And then we bring ourselves up. It's a great high energy song, thank you. And now we're kind of, right, on a higher plane, aware of a little bit more. And so that's our topic. The whole month we're talking about wholeness, living as wholeness. And today it's recognizing, where am I at? There we go. Recognizing wholeness, seeing the good in all. So I want to start off our talk with a quote, ground ourselves as always in our teaching, Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes. He says, the science of mind proclaims the spiritual nature of humankind. It removes fear by introducing love. It places us in the mind of God as some part of the eternal wholeness. It gives shelter to our souls. It satisfies the hunger, the natural hunger of our intellect for the larger life. It surrenders indecision for divine guidance, human fear for spiritual faith. Now, for me, if I could just leave that up there for the next half hour and talk to you about that quote alone. It's so grounding. And the one part I do want to point out about that is that natural hunger for our intellect to experience the larger part of life. I mean, is that not why every one of us is here right now? We want to kind of get to know a little more of the whole. And yet we can only do that through our own unique individual experience. So we are each part of that field of wholeness, of intelligence, of divinity. And we are expressing that which we know through ourselves. And so I think you said that was Scott Aubrey, right? You're reading? So I'm going to take another story by that same author, Reverend Scott Aubrey. And it kind of helps for us to look at wholeness in a different way, uniquely as ourselves. So the story is, he says, when I was a kid, I had an aquarium, a 10-gallon freshwater aquarium in my bedroom. It had guppies, angelfish, black mollies, little scavenger catfish, and I would look into the tank from the end, then from the front. From the two perspectives, the fish looked to be doing different things. They were the same, they just appeared to be different, separate, because I was seeing them one-dimensionally from two different perspectives. There was a more complex dimension to the aquarium, and everything in that I couldn't see while I was looking through just one part of the aquarium. There was a deeper level of reality that I couldn't perceive with my one-dimensional view. Quantum physics tells us that the universe is like that. The universe itself is a projection, a hologram, and the apparent separateness of subatomic particles is an illusion. At a deeper level of reality, all things in the universe are infinitely interconnected. And for me, when I hear that word, we're divinely and intimately interconnected, I go right to that idea that we talk about as oneness. And yet oneness, you hear one, which is great, but we also want to hear of the wholeness, of the completeness of all life at all times. So our lives, regardless of the conditions that we're in, what we're experiencing with each other, we are whole. We may not be viewing it that way, again, depending on what we're looking from the end of the aquarium or from the front or even from the top. It's a completely different experience. So we know that there can be no separation and that we are all created from this one infinite divine source. And that's, again, what Ernest Holmes was anchoring us into, that it is the everything that we're seeking, and that everything that we are seeking is right here, right now. And furthermore, we are that. And I don't know about you, but that's the part that I get tripped up in sometimes, is that I am that, I'm all that, and a bag of chips, I'm all that, right? It's the intention that we put behind those words, I am that, right? Think about going back to the biblical phrase, I am that I am. It's what we believe we are, right? Let me say that, not is what. What we believe we are is what we are experiencing in our experience. And yet, quantum physics is saying, when we talk about a hologram, it doesn't make it any less real. It's just a way for us to explain or receive or get more information of what we're doing here and why we're here. Again, kind of satisfying that natural need to know in different ways. So this pattern of wholeness, the very energy that is expressing and moving and having their being, is the creative source. I don't like to always say the creator because that lines us up to it's an individualized being of some sort, and that's not what we choose to believe in our faith. A little more from Ernest Holmes. There we go. He says, life is one perfect wholeness. The universe is a unit. God is one. That's very simple. And the first time I read that, I was like, oh, of course. And then whenever I kind of catch myself going, oh, I know that, I'm like, do you know it, right? Am I only knowing it from looking at one end of the tank, or am I looking at it from a place of wholeness? So if we look at that simple quote, life is one perfect whole, being expressed everywhere. Quantum physics has assisted us to prove this idea that everything exists within every moment in every physical or non-physical place. I'm going to use that to simplify quantum physics. But that which is local, they call in quantum physics, is like here. But at the same time, our here can exist non-locally somewhere else. In fact, our here exists everywhere. So the expression of God, the divine, all that we are seeking is literally here, and it's one thought away, is what they tell us. It's our focus, our knowing, our faith that determines this level of wholeness that we experience. Oh, I skipped too much. There we go. No, that's next. So again, more homes. He says, since there is but one Spirit, and this Spirit is in you and in everything, then everywhere you go, you will meet this Spirit. You meet this Spirit in people, in places, and in things. Now, this time of year, kind of, to me, this is almost like a Christmas quote, because we kind of get that Christmas mood if you celebrate Christmas, and everything's happy and everything's joyful. But what if this was the thought, the intent that we woke up with every day? That no matter where I go, no matter who I meet, no matter what I'm experiencing, I'm meeting Spirit. I'm meeting the source of all that has created all that is. In you, in me, in this physical location, right? This physical thing, it doesn't have life, but it's in essence part of our experience to understand life and in its fullness. And we know this too will change and expand and evolve as we do. Yesterday, it was one of the best parts about yesterday, being more specific, during our leadership retreat. I realized that I still see the future of this community. And I shared that once again with leadership, and I'll share it with you. I can literally close my eyes and see our center. And I can tell you what it looks like, and I can tell you how many rooms there are, and I can tell you the shape of it, and I can tell you the number that I kept sharing that comes to me is 300 plus. I don't know why, but I'm going to accept that. And what I mean by that is membership. And that we are seen and known as a beacon of love and inclusivity and positivity in this community and beyond, because we're online too. I see that. I feel that. Now, that's not here, but if it doesn't exist, if life is not whole, how can I experience that? It's got to exist. It's got to be somewhere. And so I share that with you because what I know to be true is our consciousness affects that which we call spirit, the infinite. And we get to pull down the divine into form, into our life. So if that's our superpower, right, on ourselves, what happens when we collectively believe in something? In essence, and that was perfect without knowing what she was reading, right? In essence, that's what Taylor Swift is, having an impact, because there's so many minds and so much positive energy going into the experience of having fun, of being empowered, of speaking up where we feel desired to do so against injustices that we run across in our own experience. So again, we meet spirit in people, places, and things. I'm going to ask yourself, just in your mind, do you really? Is this how you walk through your day? Now, to be honest with you, I'm saying that here, standing in front of you, I do now, and then tomorrow I will be at work, and I will work at reminding myself that every opportunity I'm meeting spirit in all of its infinite disguises. So as we observe others, are we observing them as the whole and complete God that exists everywhere? Or are we only looking through one side of the aquarium and seeing their faults? It's really easy to judge. And depending on where we put our attention, like mass media, we love to point out people's faults, because it really keeps us from looking in the mirror. But I know that's not what we do here as religious scientists. Right? We're radically responsible for ourselves, because we recognize this is the path to experience the wholeness of the divine. It's not out there. Now, we may get some words of wisdom, some guidance from other people, but That's not separate from God. I love Rumi, and I love Rumi because Rumi, in my opinion, has a greater, at this point, understanding of that wholeness, of that completeness, of that oneness, right? Oneness to me really sums up the teachings of science of mind and spirit. Oneness, that we are all one. And I want to ask ourselves to dedicate this journey of remembering this wholeness, that oneness is not sameness. Let me say that again. Oneness is not sameness. We do not all come here to be the same, like a carbon copy on a copy machine. And at the same time I say that, I want to remind us that wholeness is simply waiting to be known in every one of us. So there's only one. It seems like we're separate. Why? But we get to experience that wholeness in each one. And not even to go further, each one of us, but each one experience, each 1 minute, each 1 hour. It's all here and now. And that gets me excited because I don't know about you, but if I woke up and did the same thing, and somebody, I think it was the teachings of Abraham that said this, but it was the idea that what if you were like, I'll use the example, I love hockey, like you were the best hockey player ever. You were the best, and you were on the best team, and every game you played, you won. You not only won, you destroyed the other team. What if that was your whole infinite nature? Like, why would you even want to get up in the morning after a while? It would just be a forlorn conclusion. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to skate, am I even going to celebrate when I already kind of know that? Well, what if I created for myself an experience where I could maybe actually lose? That might be fun. Then I actually have to work, kind of. I have to remember my skills. I have to train for my skills, right? I might even get distracted and forget my powers, and then I think that you're taking it away from me. So again, not to go too far off that side, but again, we're not here to be the same. We're not here to experience even life the same, because my idea and understanding of wholeness is not yours and will never be. It may be similar, even though we are talking about the one and same spirit, source, universal God. So I was doing this talk. I ran this by my wife, so it must be okay. I'm going to share. But this series of thoughts came to me, and I'm going to try to explain where it came from. So I'm going to ask you a question with regards to thinking of this, the mystery of oneness and experiencing wholeness in our lives. Here's the question. Can we truly know the whole without knowing the self first? Just hold that for a moment. It's kind of a complicated question.
I'm stumped.
Right. So I will only share with you what came through me. Now, as I stand here as your minister, please don't put me on a pedestal. I'm here sharing my experiences of what I know to be true in my life, and I'm hoping that at some point that helps you. Even if you go, that is just BS, and I'm going in the opposite direction, great. You walk your life. So here's what came through with that. Again, can we truly know the whole without knowing the self first? In order to know the whole, at least in this life, what I know to be true is religious science teaches that we first have to become self-aware. Because otherwise, we're kind of just global group consciousness. And in other words, I don't know that I know. If I don't know that I know, then what do I know that I know? So therefore, that leads to separation. And until I know that I become aware of who I am, and then that there's this thing called wholeness. In the beginning, we feel separated. And in essence, that's kind of why we're here, because we want to re-recognize that wholeness. So then, recognizing ourselves in that way then leads to, leads us into awareness of the unit. Okay, so yeah. So then as we recognize it within ourselves, we recognize it within each other. So that unifies us in our thought. And that unity then leads to experiencing the one that exists in as the whole. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Nod or no? Chris? Yes. Bass. Okay. So that was just, I'm kind of sitting there, and this is just, me in my office downloading this. And I kind of got it out, and I ran it by Tony, because I was just like, I don't even know if I can explain this well. But I think it's important. And the point of sharing this is again, yes, we're on this individual journey, and thank God. And then the more I recognize positivity in me, how could I not experience it in the world? And then as I realize it in our smaller world, right, we're going to recognize it in our family units first, in our communities, in our workplaces, but then globally. And that's one of the blessings of the internet, is it has unified the whole country. You can't really hide anymore of what is going on. I remember way back when Facebook was barely a thing, and I want to say it was Japan, it could have been China, but there was some kind of a student revolt going on, and it was one of the first global things put on Facebook. And in an instant, we knew what was happening on the other side of the planet. Whereas before, it would take a week to come out in the paper, and then there's no visuals, and you don't see the emotion of the students. It's all happening but it's all uniquely through our own experience. And then we choose that. That's our superpower. So bringing back a little bit from last week, back from the teaching of the Kabbalah, because it fits here now, understanding the wholeness. They talk about that God is an unknowable mystery. The second thing that I shared was that they said whatever exists within the world first exists within God. And then whatever exists within God eventually becomes in the world. So it's first, right? Think of it, thought. It's all consciousness first. And then it may come down. But at the same time, if it's down in form, if it comes up and manifests in form, then it is a part of God to show the wholeness. And that God depends on us. Now, if you read that, it could be a little tricky to say, oh, well, it's God and it's me and he, she, it depends on us. It's us. It's us, our thoughts, we depend on ourselves to express. Do we not? Think about it that way. In little like mini gods, I have this grand idea. How do I know for it to be true? Well, I need to have an experience to mirror that image. And that's what we're doing each and every day. Reverend Roger Teal, that was me. Oh, I was going to share that with you. Sorry, that was my quote from a few minutes ago. Forgot I stuck that in there. So Roger Teal says, the invisible intelligence that creates anything dwells both within and around that creation. Therefore, we all dwell within the dance of the invisible, creative genius of this universe. So it kind of supports, again, that Kabbalistic thinking. So we're here to recognize the divine, the wholeness in ourselves, and to see the good in all. In order to do that, we have to begin by, again, recognizing that spark of the infinite center in our own being. And it is in knowing ourselves as that whole and complete expression of the one that allows us to open up and see it more and more and more in our world. I don't know if you're familiar with the website, I guess. Yes, website program Gaia. Raise your hand just so if you haven't that clue. A lot of you, excellent. For the last couple of years, I've had a subscription. Highly recommended. I think it's like $100, but there's so much that it opens up to that is in alignment with our teaching. And there's a new series called Into the Vortex by a guy named Jimmy Church. And the first episode, he interviewed the Grand Master of the Knights Templar. Now, when I read that, just the title, I was like, ooh, you got me hooked already. I love all that stuff, but most of it's kind of, legendary, and here's a live Grand Master. So before I even saw the first frame of it, I had this picture in my mind of what this guy was going to look like and act like and how the show was going to go. And I was blown away because this guy, with all due respect, is milquetoast. I mean, like he could be sitting next to you in church, you would never know it. I'm blanking his name, Thomas, I know. I had her watch it. We watched it last night in our hotel room because it was just blowing me away of what he shared. But one of the things, because we're in a Masonic lodge, he never, one thing I didn't share with you last night is he never says what they fought for. What he always says is our mission was to protect the teachings of the world. And they go far back from what we are aware of. He shares a lot of new, I'll consider it fact because he's a Grand Master, information. But he says the main thing that they protect is they believe that everyone, these are his words, everyone has the spark of the divine within them, and they have the right to know that. That's amazing. He put this is in public now. And what I know to be true is that's one of those seeds that will grow. And Jimmy Church, the host, says, will you ever unravel and share what you know? He says, absolutely. And he says, will you do it now? And he says, not yet. And he says, why not? He says, because, along my words, consciously we're not ready yet, because people will take that power that we have and want to control it and kind of do what's happened in the past. Yet it's exciting to know that what we kind of know is true, the history of will be shown, that what we know what has been true, but we have to kind of be ready for it. And we understand this in our own lives, because how many times has somebody told us what's going wrong in our lives and we can't hear it until we're ready to hear it? And that still is part of the wholeness, is recognizing where we can be better. So, and the second episode, just as good. So highly recommend Gaia. All right, moving on. What's the time wise?
11:50.
Okay, thank you. All right, 11:50. Okay, code word is pancakes. I'll call you as soon as I get out, Michael and Jofia. Better be aware. I did that because if I did it in the beginning, they would just start the YouTube recording and hear me. I'm not that dumb. All right? Okay. Thanks for joining my family, by the way. So, all right. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, every person is an inlet and may become an outlet to all there is in God. Now, I share this with you because of that may become. That takes a level of awareness. I'm sure there are people that if you walked up to and said, did you know that your God manifests? They might even want to fight you. That is blasphemous. It's just, they're not ready to hear that. And that's okay. That's why we going back to our Flames of Faith ceremony. If that's their belief, at some point, I believe I was there, right? So we're not making it wrong, but at the same time, when we know a greater truth, okay, hold that. Sometimes I believe there's nothing more we have to do. I believe that obviously the power that created this universe and us can take care of that, but we're anchoring it down consciously. Ours is not to work out the how, remember that. Okay, that's the law. And going back to, I know I'm flipping around, stand up, keep up with my ADD here. Alan's song mentioned the word Lord, and he called me about that song because he didn't know if that would offend people. And I said, well, if it offends them, let it, because they can learn something through that. The word Lord actually also means law. It translates to law. So the law, and think of it too, the way I look at it, as many consider, Lord as Jesus or Jesus Christ, and that's fine. But if you look at it as he is the law, he was the bringer of love. He was, and at that time, one of the ways to experience a greater understanding of the divine. And of course, a lot of people didn't like that. He was empowering us, as many prophets and wise sages did before him. And since. All right. This is, got to have some rooming. So he says this week, he says, there are some who see me by the same light in which I am seeing them. Our natures are one. Without reference to any strands of lineage, without reference to texts or traditions, we drink life water together. And that was kind of very similar to what your song was singing today, right? That we are all one, and within that, not the same, and that's okay. That's why I'm happy that our center is part of the interfaith community, to recognize and support everyone, right? In understanding, at the very least, what we call love, and that they are loved and they are worthy of that love. Okay. I'm going to skip that part. So taking action, we were talking about wholeness and we're talking about kind of consciously what it means. So kind of what can we do and bring it, anchor it into our lives. And it is simply, it's what I've been saying, which is reaching out and feeling the harmony, the energetic harmony as we go out doing our own thing. And isn't it wonderful when you kind of just have those unexpected joys in your lives, especially this time of year? It can get busy and hectic. The other day, it was just a simple joy, but I went out to get a tree for our house, Christmas tree. And I did so kind of, we were going to go as a family, and selfishly, I was like, I don't want to put up with that today. So I went out, and I was intent on getting a good tree. And I went to the place, and they had, surprisingly, in Las Vegas, still a lot of trees left, and that were in pretty good shape. And I asked the gentleman, I said, do you have one taller? And he takes me to these three, and I'm talking to him, and I'm like, they're kind of bare. And I said, I really want Douglas fir. I said, I'm from back east. I said, my uncle he used to sell trees. I love the way they smell. And he goes, oh, where are you from? I said, Buffalo. And he said, oh, from Boston. And I said, well, it's amazing that we're talking, because if you know sports, we don't like each other. and my Sabres beat them the day before. I just said, well, your team must have been sleeping, because how do you know? But he says, look, obviously you want something. He says, I'll tell you what, pick anything out you want, and I'll give you a discount on it. So I got a tree, and it was shockingly, last year we spent $75 on a barely 6-foot tree. I got it for $40, and he took $10 off. Oh, thank you. Wasn't expected. He didn't have to. Literally, that was all the conversation we had. I appreciate that. That's as easy as you can have. And I recognize, kind of jokingly, him from being Boston. But we're all doing the same thing here. He's doing his job. He's making my life feel better, or recognize, hey, you know what? There's some love in this town, and I appreciate that. And it's going around. So in other words, we have to be that. So we're going to move into our home practice. I'm not going to call it homework. It's our home practice. And I'm going to share a quote first that goes with the home practice. So I first heard this by Wayne Dyer, but the original source is Thomas Troward. He says, the law of flotation was not discovered by the contemplation of the sinking of things. You got to let that sit for a minute and read it. But by contemplating the floating of things which floated naturally, and then intelligently asking why they did so. So what does that mean? The first time I heard this, I was like, what are you talking about? So the law of flotation was not discovered by the contemplation of the seeking of things. Anybody want to share what they think it might mean? You can guess. Wrong answers are accepted.
You cannot discover the positive by looking at the negative.
Yeah. If we're trying to find wholeness, okay, looking out and staring at all the ways that I block it, while it is helpful in its sense, is not going to get me to wholeness. So if I'm saying, just like anything, I'm creating a more healthy body, but all I really do is focus on how not to be sick, those are not congruent thoughts. And so back in the day, when they were, ships were made out of wood, and it wasn't because they floated initially, it was because they didn't sink. But nowadays, we make boats out of steel and iron, things that sink, but because we know a greater law of the universe, they float. So it's important if we want to experience wholeness in our lives, then we need to look for wholeness. We need to look for oneness as we're coming from a place of wholeness and oneness. So, nope, not yet. So, oh no, not yet. Right. So, or actually it is. No, it isn't. Sorry. Welcome to my world. There was supposed to be another slide in there. Let me see if I went out of order. Yeah, I did. All right. Well, we'll go there first. So what I'm going to ask you, this is part of your spiritual practice for this week. I'm asking you to pause several times throughout your day, become aware of what you're thinking about, and just, am I thinking about the floating of things or the sinking of things, right? Am I focused on what I really want to experience or the opposite? And it's so subtle sometimes. I hear people all the time at work talking about, I went to get a flu shot so I don't get sick. All right, I'm not affirming you're going to get sick, but I'm affirming your wholeness. So if you think that's going to keep you healthy, I'm all for that. And then we talked about wholeness, oneness, the divine showing up in its infinite disguises. So I want you to be spiritual detectives as well and look for wholeness in ways that are initially maybe not showing up that way. Great opportunity, just turn on the local news. What can we see as the divine unfolding? And know that just like way back the Knights Templar knew, that there is a spark of the divine in everyone and everything. I want to close with this quote by, I go backwards, by Joseph Campbell. And he says, where we had thought to find an abomination, we find a God. Where we had thought to slay another, we slay ourselves. Where we had thought to travel outwards, we shall come to the center of our own existence. Where we had thought to be alone, we shall be with all the world. So if we wake, I suggest taking those words and waking up to that. If I woke up tomorrow morning, I'm going to say this, when I wake up tomorrow morning, I'm going to literally announce that I am waking up with all the world. And then I'm going to be a spiritual detective in my life and recognize and pause, am I focusing on flotation or am I focusing on the sinking of things? Say yes?
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's do our affirmation together. So I'm going to say it one time and I'm going to ask us to stand and announce it to the world together and affirm it. So it's simply, I welcome the vast, blessed wholeness of today. So let's stand as a community. Hopefully you can all see it behind me. I will count down from 3 when we hit 0, 3, 2, 1, and then go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I welcome the vast, blessed wholeness of today. And so it is. So let's have a seat, please. I'm going to affirm in prayer what I know to be true, that all is whole, that which we call the creator, the source of all that exists within the universe, that exists within me, is one, is love, is joy, expressing. I know that there is no place that it is not expressing. No matter what it looks like, I truly anchor that the infinite spark is in every life, is in every experience, is in every circumstance, and I call upon it. No, I demand that it show itself. Why can I put that demand? Because I am a creator. I am co-creating this life. I am resonating with the truth that all is love and all is life and all is whole. And I know that everyone that is listening to my words is a part of that whole, unique, coming from their own perfect view of the world. And I bless that. I bless everyone. I bless them knowing that they are perfect, whole, and complete as they hear these words, that there is nothing that they cannot be, do, or have, or change. Knowing that life is whole, that it is all available to us. And so we choose to focus on flotation, to focus on what works for us, that which is that desire that is calling within each one of us, that natural instinct to know that which we call God in every moment of our life. I know that is here now. I know that it is revealing itself perfectly now. And let's anchor that together as community by saying, and so it is. Amen. So before we move into song, I mentioned a week or two ago, or maybe last month, that we finished our foundations class. And this teaching, if anything, is an education. And so I asked one of our students to share at the end of the 10 weeks of the Foundations of Science of Mind, we do a project expressing something that we've learned, an aha moment, or just something that a project that culminates and shares all that we learned. And I asked one of our own community members, Rick Kanata, to share his project with us. So I'm going to call him up now to do so. Rick? Can we turn this one on for Rick? Yeah. Did you want me to hold that, sir? I have, sir. I will be your problem.
Hi, so my wife Anna asked me a couple months ago if I wanted to take the foundations with her. It's been some good. I wasn't sure because it was a commitment, a 10-week commitment. And I had just left my job and kind of felt like, okay, I think I need some grounding. I need to be grounded a little bit to find out, who I was and what I was doing. And so I said, yeah, I think I should take this. I think it will be really helpful. So I took it and just loved it. Rev Joe and Bill just did a great job teaching and facilitating. making sense of my words. So I really appreciated that. Being in a group setting was pretty amazing. The people that I was with validated a lot of my feelings and just brought so much wisdom and were able to express things in a way that I wasn't able to express it. So that was great. I got everything I was hoping to get out of the class and more. It put a lot more tools in my spiritual toolbox, I think. And some of the things in particular, I feel like I'm better at prayer now. Helped me a little bit with meditation. And that kind of led to my class project at the end of the class. So that's what I'll share with you now. It's called How Nature Brings Me Closer to God and Closer to My Good. Breathe it in. Exhale out. The fresh air, sweetly scented by juniper and sagebrush. Take it in. Let it sit. God is all there can be. Spirit is all around me. The power of the towering red cliffs. The abundance of incredible rock statues. Towering spires and out-of-this-world hoodoos stretching to the horizon. Spirit is all around me. God is all there is. Spirit is always divine right order. The rain falls on the mesa top and spills over the towering wall in breathtaking waterfall. The life-supporting water finds the waiting dry wash and rushes through the floor of the red and orange slot canyon, carving the Navajo sandstone as it races to the ever-flowing river. Spirit is all around me. God is all there can be. Breathe it in, hold, and exhale. The ochre, gray, white, chocolate, and vermilion cliffs, the bluest of blue skies, turn into cotton candy swirls of tangerine and crimson at sunset. God paints with a limitless palette. God is nothing if not beauty and balance and harmony. Armies of hoodoos, hillsides dressed wearing Charlie Brown sweaters, large formations seemingly defying gravity atop thin spires of multicolored rock. Mother Nature is joy. God is fun. Breathe it in. Laugh it out. Spirit is all around me. Skyscraping earth tone walls, smooth repeating pyramids banded with gray, then purple, then chocolate, then back to purple swaths. Round boulders gracefully resting on the slopes that could only have been placed there by the artistic hands of God. Oh, Spirit is so creative. Breathe it in. Hold the love. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Hold the light. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Hold the power, the peace, the truth, and breathe it out. God is all there can be. Spirit is all around me. As I am in the wonder of all I see and hear and feel, I can't help but know that I am part of the splendor, that I am love and truth and wisdom. As I gaze at the sweeping panorama and see Homer Simpson in the hoodoos and model trains in the rock formations, I know that I am fun and joy and playful and creative. As I witness the honeybees gathering nectar in every flower of every prickly pear cactus I see, I too know I'm abundance and prosperity and ease. As I am immersed in the awe of the world around me, I am so small. I am so large. I am love and joy and harmony, and I am peace. And I know that I am right where I'm supposed to be, and I know that I'm enough. And right now, I know it of God, and I know it of me, and I know it of you, and I know it of the world. I breathe in, hold the beauty, and breathe it out. I breathe in, hold the peace, and breathe it out. I breathe in, hold the love, and breathe it out. God is all there can be. Spirit is all around us.
started with that, I didn't have to say anything more. That was perfect. Alan, you ready? I know.
Oh, let's do
This is
offerings
our
first.
offering song.
Yeah, sure, why not? Thought it was a moment too. This is our time for offering. And so we do have a bowl in the middle if you would like to make an offering. And what we know to be true is the law of circulation is something that we teach and follow. So as you give, please also receive. We have our affirmation cards there for you to carry with you. And I also want to let you know how life works and supports us. So are they still here?
No.
They did have to leave. So Tim Martin and his wife, which are part of, he leads the interfaith community. And this has nothing to do with them, which is even more amazing. The community that he lives in, which is called the St. James community, they gather as a whole. So this is not religiously related, but just it comes through him. And they gather, and he said, instead of like everybody bringing cookies and donating that, they donate money, and they collect all that money and they give to others, usually families, etc. But through whatever means, he holds this consciously. And so we received a $500 donation from their community, which we are going to put towards purchasing our own laptop for the center, because right now we're all using our own materials. So I want to thank the St. James community and thank Tim Martin and everyone for their generous donation. That is the law of circulation. Thank you. So Alan's going to play a little ditty while we get our offerings prepared, and then we will come back and bless the offerings. Play a little ditty, sir.
Little ditty.
Let me put this in the offering.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Here's the little ditty part. Change the I to we and sing along. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we are. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
All right. We are grateful for all that is. Let's bless our offering first. I feel hot here. Can we turn me down just a little bit? Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask you just to extend your hands, your minds, your thoughts, and know that we are just so grateful for all that is given to our community, through our community. We know that God's graciousness, prosperity, love exists everywhere. And through these offerings, these gifts of money, of thought, of prayer, it all does blessed work within our community, for our community of CSL St. George and beyond. So we are so grateful to be able to be a part of that law of circulation, of giving and the receiving, and know, as Rick said, it is all right here, right now, in that infinite palette, in its infinite disguises. And so it is.
So it is.
I'm going to call up our core council president to share just a little bit of how we're sharing with our community.
Is the mic hot?
Hi, I'm Marina, if you don't know me. And I'm the president of the Core Council, which is a glorious and joyful job. So just to give you a little bit more information about the abundance and the prosperity, the money that our community donates to us, we in turn share it in other ways. We tithe regularly to the main centers for spiritual living. We also give quarterly. We have begun sharing part of our prosperity with local communities. We did Pride of Southern Utah earlier in the fall, and right now we are in the process of sharing a percentage of what you are giving to us to Switch Point, which is a beautiful organization here in town that is changing the face of homelessness in St. George. So we're giving them $693. Is a percentage of the monies that you are gifting to us. So it definitely is a flow and a passing back. So thank you for helping us to do that.
Stay there, please. Real quick. Can I have all of our leadership up here so everybody can see who you are? Everyone.
Prax,
You
Core
too.
Council.
Just take a minute. I want you to love on these people because, you know, they are all volunteers and do this for the love of the teaching. Get in the center. These are your practitioners. These are your core council members, and this is who makes all of this happen. Also with you, Bill's in the back holding high watch, so we'll just keep him there. And Christopher, you can come up real quick and say hi. It'll run itself. So I appreciate everybody up here. Thank you. And we'll move on with really song or announcements.
Announcements?
Can I make one announcement?
Of course, you're the president.
I'm not sure this slide is going to show in the slides up here because I think you might have downloaded before I made some changes last night. But we are taking applications for people who would like to serve on the Core Council.
Right there.
Okay.
Oh, it is there. Thank you. I apologize.
That's okay.
So the deadline to apply is December 26th. You can contact me. I was going to bring applications today and I failed to do that. But you can email our regular email, or you can email me directly, Marina Anderson at CSLGgeorge.org for an application. We need at least 2 new people because Christopher behind the scenes there and Gwen, who takes care of all of our food, their second term is up. And so they have been serving for 6 solid years and longer. They were both really intimately involved in the earlier days of St. George and have been a big part of us keeping going over the last few years and finding our glorious minister. So please consider serving your community in this way. It's joyful, collaborative, and compassionate work.
Thank you.
And now Sue Fulmer will give the announcement.
Sue Fulmer.
You hit it in the bullseye today. Thank you. Wasn't he great? The community care circle. We don't know what you need unless you tell us.
Amen.
If you would like some service, some compassionate service, or you know someone who needs a visit or maybe in the hospital or something, visit at home,
we would love to be there for you. So let us know. And your practitioners are also not knowing what you need until you tell us, and we're ready to pray. I feel so blessed to be a practitioner now. This is what a practitioner wears. And we've been trained a good 4 years plus in praying and being in the consciousness to be able to heal and help and pray with you. So if you feel a need today, please contact one of us wearing the purple stole, and we can meet you right in the back corner and have a private moment of prayer. If that would help you today, we'd be happy to do that.
I did
Okay.
that one.
Join us on the core council. I'm the secretary and have served 5 of my 6 years of 2 terms. And I love it. It is an opportunity to rub shoulders with wonderful people. We're all so great here. But when you serve in those smaller groups, it really is a blessing. And we make decisions that we want to help our CSL St. George. So join us.
No Zoom.
Okay, I made notes because I wanted to add my personal comment.
When does ministerial school start?
I am a lifelong learner, but boy, I'm taking a rest after prac training for a while. So we also can be contacted for prayer on our website and through the email that's listed here, prayer@cslstgeorge.org. Reverend Joe is available to us, and he invites us to contact him. You have a question, you want some inspiration. I just had a one-on-one with him over the phone, and it's so inspiring. He is awesome. Let's keep him busy and helping all of us individually. So he's available. Next Saturday Sunday, Sunday service is Eugene Holden. And he's from back east, awesome guy. He writes for the magazine that we read each month. They're on the table. If anybody would like to pick one up that doesn't have that subscription, please take one home. So we are happy to listen to him as our guest speaker, and then start Christmas Eve the best way you can with a spiritual message from our minister on the 24th, embodying Christ consciousness. That's it. Okay. Then I'll sit down and wish you all a happy holiday season. You can tell I'm in the mood for celebrating.
Thank you, Sue. So we got last year we got to participate with the interfaith music groups.
There you go.
And that was a great time. There was 5 or 6 of us that got together and sang some songs in front of a lot of people. And it was absolutely great. Well, we've been invited to do that again this year. The event's going to be on February 17th, somewhere here in town. Last year it was at the Catholic Church, but they moved it somewhere. So if you'd like to sing with us, please come up here and let me know. I'll be up here rolling up wire after the service is over. And join us. We'll start practicing right after the holidays, usually over my place. It's very intimate. It's not going to be hard. It's 2 simple songs. And we just love to have you. Just let me know if you would like to get on that, because it was a great time. Yeah. So was this, if you want to stand up.
Yes.
Closing song. Oh.
It's a new day, today it's a new life, my way. The dogs, they are no match for me. I take my faith and fly because I know that I am creating my own destiny. The past is gone, there is no power in a mighty force of the atmosphere. So I choose to roll, yes, I choose to ride. The longing will not be denied. It's a new day. Today it's a new life. I wait. Without it, I know that's for me. I take my faith and fly because I know that I'm creating my own destiny. Right here, right now, I claim that I am home. There is nothing else that I need to know. So I affirm my word that I'm deserving of. God's goodness abounding in all. It's a new day. Today it's a new life. My way. Without it, I know that's for me. I take my faith and fly because I know that I'm creating my own destiny. Yes, I believe it, so it will be.
Thank you, one and all. Check, check, check. Thank you, one and all. So much love. Enjoy the holidays. Be safe. Come back here next month. I will be happy to meet you afterwards. Mike and Joby, the second word is jellyfish. I love you all.
You know, they can record the recording.